Please welcome Matthew Caws of Not a Surf to the Leon Loft.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. I'm so happy to be here. This is called New Propeller.
There's a new propeller churning up our days. There's a whirlpool spinning, digging us our graves. There's a growing menu of brand new mistakes. Same old ground I've always walked on. Now they call it fake. Don't be afraid, you won't be replaced. Don't be afraid, you won't be erased. There's a new day coming. We don't know its name. There's new methods brewing. Some will be the same. There's a growing feeling going down the drain. Same old ground I've always walked on. There's always new pain. Don't be afraid, you won't be replaced. Don't be afraid, you won't be replaced. There's a brand new flavor, acidic in its taste. There's a brand new picture, color's gone to waste. This growing feeling, nobody is chased. Same old ground I've always walked on, sliding in the lake. You felt a bright white light. You gave it a name and you set a price. Okay, there may be a God, and they love you with all their heart. But there's no place underground. There is no devil hound. watch it go. It's a lovely twilight. We're alone, but you are the door prize. Watch it go, it's a lovely twilight.
Thank you so much, Leon Lofters. I want to tell you a quick story about this next one. The song's called In Front of Me Now. And what happened was that we were doing some spring cleaning at home, and I was vacuuming and listening to music on noise-canceling headphones. My wife came up the stairs and said, "Could you fill the bath? I want to put a little bleach in it and give it a good clean." I said, "Of course." And I started filling the bath, and then I put my noise-canceling headphones back on and kept vacuuming. Lofters, do you know what happened? That's exactly what happened. So 10 minutes later, my wife understandably comes running up the stairs. "What is happening?" And 7 smoke alarms are going off. Thank goodness, they were tripped by the water. Anyway, obviously, total disaster. I go into hyperdrive, try and do everything I can at once. It ends up okay. 5 hours later, the electrician turns the power back on. The floor between the bathroom and the kitchen downstairs seems to be drying up. It's fine, I guess. No one's mad. But I got so depressed. I had this cloud of shame and regret on me, thinking that this is my brain. It does not function well. It's the only one I have for my whole life. I cannot believe I'm so dumb. And so I was taking a long drive in the country. I had to go somewhere. And so I'm in the car for like a couple hours. And the only way I can feel better is to make a deal with myself and say, okay, from now on, I'm only going to do one thing at a time. No more multitasking. Now, I knew that these deals, they're not really true, It's on credit. You make yourself feel better in the moment, and you can't necessarily deliver on a total change to your mental makeup. But it's worked a little bit, I tried, and now I feel like I'm 5 or 10% less multitasky. But the really ironic thing is I started this tour 10 days ago, explained to people how I wrote the song, that I wrote it in the car, and I only realized 5 days ago that I wrote it while driving. So clearly flawed from the beginning, but doing our best, doing my best at least. I have ADHD, and I gotta sort of rein it in. So this is called In Front of Me Now, written in a car that was moving.
I used to be dreaming when I was driving. I used to be leaving when I was arriving. I used to be calling when I was walking. I used to be thinking when I was talking. I used to be counting when I was sharing. I used to be blanking when I was staring. I used to be ruling when I was parking. I used to be raining when I was sparking. Today I do what's in front of me now. Today I do what's in front of me now. I used to be stopping when I was trying. I used to be landing before I was flying. I used to be haunting, not just remembering. In the middle of summer I was Decembering, always rewriting what I was reading, but also doubting what I was conceiving. I used to be dropping when I was collecting. I could have been building, but I was dissecting. Today I do what's in front of me now. Today I do what's in front of me. What's in front of me? I do what's in front of me now. I used to be missing when I was kissing. Why wasn't I present? I could have been living. I used to be dodging when I was catching. I used to be dying. I could have been hatching, I used to be drowning when I was drinking, I slowly masking, I could have been feeling. You used to surround me whenever you found me. I could have learned more from the friends I had around me. I used to be falling when I was leaning, catastrophe courting, I could have been dreaming. I was careening, looking for meaning, wish I was relaxing, I could have been breathing. Do what's in front of me now. Today, I do what's in front of me. What's in front of me? Oh, there's too many lanes. There's too much to see in the frame at once. It's too much to contain. Oh, there's too much terrain. I can never explain it all. Too much for my brain. I do what's in front of me, what's in front of me. I do what's in front of me now.
We are live at the Leon Loft, you listeners, there on 107.1, and we are talking to Matthew Caws of Not a Surf, playing songs from a brand new album, Moon Mirror, which is just out as of last week. And one of the things that I've learned, actually, these first two songs that you've played, I think actually could illustrate the point. Because one of the things I've learned talking to you in the past is that you don't ever really know exactly what any song is about necessarily when you start it.
That's right. It's once in a while. Well, this one in front of me now is an exception because it's like a concept song, but
Right.
That's pretty rare. Yeah, most of them I just head out blind.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that frustrating or is it exhilarating? Like to start to have this idea brewing in your head and you're going, what is it that I am trying to write about?
Right. No, it's exhilarating, but you know, it's not like I don't have a kind of insecurity about it. I remember in Rolling Stone once there was a page on what defines a country song. And I like all kinds of music, and I really love country too. And part of it is like clarity and a clear through line, like a story. And you know, I read that and I was like, man, I don't really do that very often. And you know, kind of wish I could, on purpose. I wish I could push a button and just do that. But I tend to be more impressionistic at first. But I try and figure out what it's about by the end. I hope. I mean, unsuccessfully often, but I'm trying.
And what comes out, obviously, these are Not a Surf songs, and 30 years on, 10th album. And almost all of the songs in the entire catalog are shared writing credits.
Yes.
Which got me thinking about the fact that you must know, as a group, as a collective unit, you must know what a Not a Surf song and what isn't.
Yeah, but the thing is, without naming names, I mean, there are groups where the principal writer or the only writer takes all the money, and
Yes.
those groups don't usually last. Is the thing, because when we're away from home, we're all away from home.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 24/7 job on tour for everybody, and I put a lot of effort into writing and stuff, but I would do that anyway, and I'd rather. And of course, in a way, I'm writing for them. They're the first audience. So
right, sure.
Those relationships are super important. And plus, of course, the way they play, obviously, I mean, everyone's super important. So it feels like it made more sense to do it like that, like a collective,
And they're ultimately going to shape the song. So, I mean, you're going to be relying on them to...
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, it's a collective.
In front of me now, funnily enough, it had this very... the video for it has this very late 2020 feel to
Yes.
it.
Yes.
But you are spread. So I just wanted to ask about the logistics of actually recording an album, because you are spread out. I mean, you're in Cambridge, England. Dan's in Florida. Ira's in Texas. You were joined by Leo on this project in Spain.
Yeah.
All of you taking a quadrant of the screen for the video. But really, what is the... and you guys have been in these places for a long time now. So.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, logistically and financially, it's a ridiculous arrangement. It's a very bad idea. However, we're together, and if we'd had a pact that we have to all stay in Brooklyn from the very beginning, where we started, who knows? Somebody might have sacrificed a relationship or some life dream of where they wanted to be, and maybe we would have broken up. So I think allowing each other to have our lives has ultimately been a good thing and preserved us. But yeah, that's why, doing the video that way was very luxurious for us because we all got to stay home.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you want to do next?
This is called Intel and Dreams. It's about my big sister and just how much I love her. I have a great big sister. And if you're listening to this on the radio, I just want to say that the second chord being terrible is intentional. So you don't need to cringe unless you're cringing in a fun way. Here we go. Intel and Dreams.
Good chord, bad chord. Good chord, bad chord. Oh, I like the lightness of being on my own. I like the quiet and walking around my home with no other body there and no fabric you can tear. It can almost be like floating in a gravity-free zone. Good chord, bad chord. Good chord, bad chord. As my eyes scan round the world, I can follow any thread, any curiosity, and see just where it led. Everything's so natural, there's no awkward push and pull. Deep down I'm so much more comfortable inside my head. But oh, 81 times a day I turn and see nothing but empty air there. And even the best days, they feel half wasted. I grew up with an older sister, and even through some sparring, we were a team. And we shared intel and dreams. And we shared intel and dreams.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are going back to the station now. We are going to continue on here at the Leon Loft with Matthew Caws. Matthew and his band, Not a Surf, have just released their 10th album. It's called Moon Mirror. It is on the New West Records label, and it just came out last Friday. By the way, Not a Surf will be playing a show in Detroit at L Club in October the 9th. You can find out more about that show and everything at notasurf.com. And now let's go back to more music on Ann Arbor's 107.1. And we're out. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. That was really fun. I know I'm playing two more, but just thank you. That was rad.
That was fun.
It's nice to get through the live part,
It's fun.
Now I can black out. And
So the song we were talking about, that you told the story about in front of me now,
Yeah.
this deals with, obviously, the distractions of a constantly connected life. A song that would have been hard to imagine, like inconceivable in 1994. Like, we just would have no reference to create something like that.
That's true.
But now, you are the father of a teenager?
Yeah, I have a 7-year-old and a 20-year-old, actually.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. All right. 7-year-old and a 20-year-old. The 20-year-old, most certainly, his life is, it's all about this connectedness.
Yeah.
And then trying to impart the wisdom that is in that song is impossible because of the timeless generational divide. Thanks,
Right.
Dad. It's different now.
Right. I mean, everybody has to find their own way through driving being a passenger or driving your own mind, and it's a lifelong struggle, really, and it's getting better for me, but yeah, I mean, I don't know how many. I sometimes think that the neurodivergent and normie, all this stuff, I think everything's much more common than we think, because just about everybody I know has trouble multitasking too much, being distracted too much, being entertained too much, etc. It feels like just a human condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we feel that way, audience?
Yeah.
All right. Somebody's entertaining themselves wildly in the corner, which is great. There is another song I wanted to ask you about specifically from 5 years ago. This was a standalone track called Song for Congress. 5 years ago. So amazingly prescient. The line, we're on a bigger team than left or right. We have a flickering history as a guiding light. Don't want to see the American dream die in the night. You were seeing your home from a European perspective, have been for a long time. You've been there for a while. So how were you processing then? And in a place where they're having their own troubles that are similar.
Well, it's really poignant. Not necessarily any more poignant than for an American living in America, but you know how when you're watching a movie on an airplane, sometimes it feels really emotional because everything's down there, and you're above it and looking down, like, God, it's so complicated down there, and to watch the states and the divisiveness and the moving target of truth. It's upsetting, And Song for Congress, well, it was really caused by the family separations at the border that I found so unbelievably upsetting that I was calling my senators and Congress people, and then I thought, well, what can I do? Well, what would I say if I was sitting in a senator or congressperson's office? So I wrote the song from that perspective, and it's a little bit, it's wishful thinking. I mean, I actually did go to D.C. and try to play it in some offices. I got into one who was very liberal and very much I take that back. He was very much anti-family separation. Let's put it that way. But we each try what we can in our lanes,
Yeah.
And that was what I felt like contributing.
It's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to do next?
So there's 2 songs from the new record, neither of which I played very much, so off the radio, but I understand actually
It will air.
It'll air. Well, here we go, The first one is called Open Seas. I played it for the first time yesterday in Nashville. Here we go.
There's no record, there's no trace, there's nothing that anyone can see left on your face. There's no method, there's no crime. To get from there to here was never a straight line. But I dream of the open seas. They're waiting for me. They're waiting patiently. I draw outside the lines like a fraud sometimes with cans of paint. It comes in waves. Another night between debating wants and needs, but no complaint. The shower turns into a river, the river runs into the sea. Up in the clouds they bring it back, and it's raining down on me. Some feelings they follow through hot and through cold, attached like like a kite that I don't wanna hold. Took ages to learn it's okay. Can't let go, just get out of the way. I dream of the open seas. They're waiting for me. They're waiting patiently. Stopped reading about Jesus. I started reading about Elvis. Pre-army days like a parable, hiding out with June Wanico. Time is on our heels, is on our heels, is on our heels. The phone on my chest plays Jimmy Webb, and I feel myself out on the line, wanting you for all time.
If you know Wichita Lineman by Jimmy Webb, I didn't want to get the lyrics wrong. That's like my favorite line in the world, so to get it wrong would be criminal.
Appreciate
All right.
that.
You want another one?
In just a sec. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I just want to ask you one other thing.
Yeah.
I think that the last we talked was in 2012. The album, one of the greatest album titles of all time, "The Stars Are Indifferent to Astronomy." Love that. And you told a fun story because I think at that time you had just recently moved to Cambridge. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I did in the middle of making that record, actually.
Right. All right. And you talked about that you stopped by a local pub and you were part of a songwriter night, or there was a songwriter night that was going on there, and you said, well, I've got songs and maybe I could play something. And you got to play new songs for like 10 or 15 people. We're sitting around, and I guess it was so charming. I just like the thought of it. And I was wondering if you had actually stayed in touch with that scene, and if you still have the opportunity to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was an open mic at the pub right next to my house, and I'd moved there on a Wednesday, which is the night they have it, and I didn't really know anybody in town, and saw this sign that said, open mic night. I thought, I'm tired. I'm tired from unpacking, or not unpacking yet. But thought, man, I should get to know some people. And yeah, the guy running the open mic was like, hey, I'm friends with your drummer. We played a show together in Germany or something. So there was a connection, and I ended up going to that open mic for like 8 months. Just, I love communities like that. And I hadn't been in an open mic in a long time, but I used to go to some in New York, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's people doing music for the pure love of it, which is really the best.
Yeah. And are you still?
I'm not going to it anymore because I've had another kiddo since then, and so I can't really afford to leave the house for something I don't really need to do. You know. Yeah.
I also saw. I don't know how I missed this in the previous times we've talked, that you worked at Guitar World magazine as an editor and writer. Mm-hmm. When was that?
That was in 1993, 94, 95, maybe. My last day at work was the day before the first day of pre-production on our first album with Rick Ocasek.
So early to mid-90s then.
Yeah.
You were working at Guitar World.
Yeah.
And that you did what I'm doing here. I mean, you interviewed people for pieces.
Yeah.
Oasis.
Yeah, Oasis.
I only bring it up because we're now sort of in the midst of this 30th anniversary celebration and a reunion.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting story. And just P.S., I was not nearly as good at it as you are. I was not a very good interviewer. And I'm just
Thank
serious.
You,
I wasn't very good. So I interviewed Noel Gallagher like 2 days before What's the Story? Morning Glory came out. And I didn't know much about them, but we toured with this band called Superdrag, who were really big Beatles fans, and they'd been hip to Oasis early, and were like, they're They're ripping off a lot of Beatles stuff. And, and the impression I got was that he'd be kind of arrogant. And what I was surprised by was that he was totally down to earth, super sweet, self-effacing, very kind, perceptive and everything. But that was all the conversation before I turned the tape recorder on. So when I hit record, he turned into a character. Really arrogant and funny, Every line was a pull quote. But what he was saying also was that, like, him and Leo and Liam, when they were like hanging out in a bar early on in the band's career, if they knew that a journalist was there, they would just put on a mock fight. So it seemed like a lot of their early fighting was a performance. Now, who knows? I know nothing more than that, but maybe sometimes fiction becomes truth because you say one mean thing to many, and who knows? But hey, let's all hear it for siblings patching it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much for spending time tonight. We are up for one more, I believe. Yeah? All right.
Awesome.
What would you like to do?
Well, this is Second Skin, and as I said, we've played this once, so but there's a video out. So even if this is a car accident or car crash, if you like what you hear, go check out the video. It's the first song on our album, Moon Mirror. It's called Second Skin.
Myself for 5 minutes to rub myself up against a tree and get this second layer off of me. I'm tired of living in this second skin. I want to let everything in. I don't want to compare myself. I tried so many new and old tricks to die and self-improve. From divining with dead sticks to fallen yogi hot moves. But what I found I learned from no book up on the shelf is to watch the thief of time and learn to trick myself. I don't want to leave my brand new skin. It's made of leaves, it's strong and thin. I waited for it night and day. I wake up and it goes away. Quiet and it's dark. Heaven on earth is daytime in a city park. This apartment building floats on a humming sea. Under the floorboards, under you and me. I don't want to leave my brand new skin. Strong and thin. I waited for it night and day. I wake up and it goes away. I'm never gonna leave my
Thank you. Thank you to the Loft. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much.